This is Dr. Rosie Kuhn, and this podcast series is called Spiritual Immersion, Taking the Plunge. And this is actually our 100th podcast. It says 200 because of the way that they're numbered. But this is at this point, the final podcast of this 100, this series of podcasts. The series is, the intention of this series has been to support and empower you to look at who you are as a spiritual human being and all of the ways that in every opportunity you have to recognize both the humanness and the spiritualness of your existence and this adventure, this amazing adventure you're on to explore and enhance and expand your full potentiality. So what I want to do today is give you the top 10-ish, there's 11 actually, takeaways that I think are the most important from this podcast series. So that's what I'd like to share with you today are the top 10, top 11 takeaways from this podcast. So the first takeaway for me is that we are always operating from a set of principles that are set either by our consensus view of reality or by our highest selves, in a sense, spiritual truths that are true for everything and everybody. There's an absolute truth. So we're always distinguishing the principles by which we're operating, the belief systems, the contexts of our thoughts and our beliefs and the actions and the events that occur that are the consequences of our belief system. So as we notice and observe our belief systems, we can begin to change them and hopefully change them towards having the results, the outcome, the potentiality of this fullness of our life. So that's takeaway number 2. Takeaway number 1. That was number 1. Number 2 is that, and Joseph Campbell says this just so beautifully, but in essence, if you see a path in front of you, it's not yours. This is a really scary one because it's like we are always looking for that path in front of us that somebody else took, that somebody else created, and it's like, oh, I'm going to take that path. And the truth is that's their path, it's not your path. Every single one of us came here to create our own path, our own sacred journey. And the only way we can do that is to create it one step at a time as we move forward through the experience of this present moment. When we see another path in front of us, we go, oh, that's going to take me where I want to go. We don't know that it may take somebody else where they want to go, but your path is going to take you there one step at a time. And that's really important to really understand and grok is like, you can't look forward along the path. You have to create it one step at a time for yourself. The third big takeaway for me is that I'm the creator of all of it. You are the creator of all of it. Now, everything I'm saying, you're going to hear or have heard hundreds of times by different teachers, by different speakers and readers and Bibles and books on self-help and on spiritual principles and all, is that you are the creator of all of it. Your perceptions, the way that you see the world, the way that you have been domesticated, the way that you choose to become independent of that domestication, the way that you choose to live your life, it's all based on your choices. The more that we become aware of that we're choosing to choose what we choose, the more we become aware of that, we now have more and more power. We empower ourselves to make different choices. And that's what as you've heard me say almost 100 times, that I'm here to empower you to make those choices, to reveal to yourself how you make the choices you make. So that you are, I'm just going to read what I wrote. I am the creator of all of it. Whether I experience issues related to money, health, or relationships, the opportunities to reveal all the ways I've created the scenarios allow me to make choices that can change the outcome in a heartbeat. So I am the creator of all of that. I have been created by the creator, so I am a creator myself. And how I create my reality is all a matter of choice. And that's true for you too. Number 4, your attention is required right now, right here at the deepest level. So what all of us are doing, and including me, is I keep looking to the future. I keep wondering what's going to be like in the future, and should I do this and should I do that in order to have the future that I want. And as I do that, and in terms of shoulds and shouldn'ts, and will this get me to where I want to go, we lose the opportunity to be present in the moment and be present with our deepest selves, and be present in the experience that we're having now, which is so revelatory and it's so powerful in what can occur by just being in the moment without focusing on the future. So this moment is requiring you to be here now. And Ram Dass wrote the book, Be Here Now. And you'll hear that over and over again in all spiritual principles, and all, regardless of spiritual tradition, regardless of the religious formations or foundations, they all say the same thing. Number 5, my intention and training to be dedicated to my intentions will bring me to light and love. What is my intention? What is my deepest desire? What is my motive within the situation? Those are questions I need to ask myself over and over again. So if I'm dedicating my intention to live in my fullest potentiality, then I have to be mindful of when I'm living in something other than my fullest potentiality. Is there some trepidation and a little anxiousness about that? Yes. And is there more anxiousness when I focus on what I make me afraid of, as opposed to just like, wow, I don't know how to be with uncertainty, but I totally trust. This is the element of it. I totally trust my guides. I totally trust universal source. I trust universal divine order and timing. And living in that, then that's my intention, is to learn to trust and live in that place of divine source, and that I am part of that divine source, not a victim to it or at the mercy of it. I am that divine source. And the more that I can practice that, different things show up than if I'm in the divine, in the source of fear. I can be either one. And I'm at choice, and so are you. Number 6, the now is the highest vibrational outcome of my life thus far. And so what I mean by that is I can look at, oh, here I am, and I'm just here somewhere along the path, and it's okay. Or I can say, wow, after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, I am here with this level of awareness, this level of consciousness, this level of compassion, this level of kindness and generosity, this level of intelligence. I have brought myself through the worst of the worst of the worst to get myself here now. And in that, there's a celebration of me here now, without the, oh, what will become of me because of this? So for instance, having published my 13th book, I can go, oh my God, good things are going to happen, or that's going to happen, or I'm going to have all this happen. I don't know, none of it might happen. But if I don't celebrate the moment of this moment, even here at the 100th podcast, this is a huge celebration for me in the revelations and the discoveries and the completion of my commitment. So I want to enjoy this as the place that I've arrived at. This is the I've arrived part of my book. The title, I've arrived. Well, sort of. But I've arrived here in this moment after eons of life experiences. And so we want to celebrate that. I want you to celebrate that with yourself, and not just anticipate what's next or expect something to come from this moment, but just go, wow, this is the moment. Wow. And not have any, that doesn't mean that the next part of your life won't be great or greater or whatever you call that, but this moment we need to celebrate as well. Number 7, the process is simple, but not easy. Let me say that again. The process is simple, but not easy. So we're on this journey of self-exploration, And we come across times that are scary, and we come across times that are sad, despairing, grieving. We come across anger. We come across all kinds of aspects of our humanness that we've been avoiding forever. We come to the point of questioning the the reality of having to recover ourselves from all of our addictions to worry or guilt, our worry, our addictions to lack and continuing to create lack, our addictions to the belief systems that aren't working. We have all these addictions and patterns, and we need to recover ourselves, recovering ourselves, discovering ourselves, coming back to ourselves over and over again. And so that's a simple process, like just let go of what doesn't work. Just let go of fear-based perspectives. Just look to the positive of who you are. It's like, yeah, that's all really easy to say, but it's really challenging to our that part of us we call the ego that just wants to survive. And if we give up all of that fear-based stuff, then our ego doesn't have anything to hold on to. But we will tend to thrive and grow into our full potentiality by doing that. So the process is simple, but it's challenging, and it takes patience and not waiting. Waiting gets us into trouble. It takes patience to just be with what is and just be with what is. And these are places where it's sometimes helpful to get support from a coach or a therapist or a spiritual director or a transformational coach or spiritual coach or a spiritual integration coach. Lots of support out there to bring you into alignment with your highest truth, your highest knowing. Number 8, our attachments to the beliefs, perceptions, and desires hold us back from experiencing limitless potentiality and what is infinitely pleasing. So even though I've been doing this work basically my whole life, more so the last 10 years, as rigorous as it's been, I still continually reveal new, not new, but all these old attachments that I have yet to let go of. And these, as I keep looking at and seeing the attachments to beliefs and perceptions and desires that I've had, and those that hold me back from my limitless potentiality, then I'm able to be free of that and really experience sovereignty, which is my sovereignty in not being forced or victimized or at the mercy of all of those or any of those belief systems. And I get to experience what is infinitely pleasing, and that is only me who's telling me what's infinitely pleasing. So it's quite a delightful discovery process. Quite often, and I've kind of already covered this, but expectations, number 9, expectations too often veil the beauty and awesomeness of who you are now in this moment. So for instance, I said this is finishing 100 podcasts, and I just finished publishing a book. Now I can move on to, okay, what's next? What's the next podcast? What's the next book? How am I going to market this? All of that gets in the way of the beauty of the moment of what has transpired here now today in this moment. And I want to know myself in this moment. I want to experience myself in the grace and the fullness of this completion in this moment. And it's too easy to just disregard it and move on, but this is the moment to celebrate, and that's what I want for each of you. Number 10, you've heard this before, to thine own self be true. Defer to no one. There's no more need to appear and look for how you're being vindicated or validated in the eyes of others. You realize inevitably your own independence and your own sovereignty. So what that means is, okay, I published a book or I'm finishing these podcasts. Isn't that great? I'm not looking for the validation that I am great. I'm not looking to be vindicated. I love that word, vindicated. I'm not looking to be proved right or vindicated for my mistakes. I don't have to do acts of contrition. I don't have to do acts of self-punishment in order to get to a place of sovereignty and independence and freedom to have a great life. And so that's what this moment is about, is that I don't have to prove myself to anybody one way or another. I have completed, I live my life one day at a time, and I only need to listen to myself to know whether this day is the best day ever, and continually do that over and over again. And if I make choices that are not contributing to this being the best day ever, I'm going to start making different choices so that every day is the best day ever. And number 11, compassion, generosity, gratitude for the way that it is grows exponentially as I release myself from the beliefs that I'm alone, that no one is to be trusted, and that I'll never be enough. Needing to be right about all needing to be right about all of that means I need to try and control the outcome. I always have to be in control, and that's what we're doing when we're trying to vindicate or validate ourselves. So as I'm letting go of those beliefs, as I'm letting go of being imprisoned by my own belief system, and I'm training myself to be open to seeing myself and the world differently, then I start looking at the principles by which I really want to live my life, and not the principles that I've been taught or trained or domesticated to believe are true. And in that, I keep growing my level of compassion for myself and other people. I grow my ability to be generous. These are some of the highest values for me, is I grow compassion, generosity, and gratitude. These are things that not only are important values to me, but they've been really difficult to grow. And so by doing this and seeing where I've been imprisoned by my own belief system, I can let go of that. And then I become more engaged, and there's an engaged connection that I have with everyone that I've never experienced before. And I continually grow that over and over again. So those are the top 11 that I have. And there are the other top 99 or 89 that are waiting for you to explore through these podcasts. I totally appreciate your presence and your openness to traveling along this path with me. And if you have found them valuable, I'd love to hear your comments, or please share the comments where you have listened to this. If you're interested, you can contact me at rosie@theparadigmshifts.com or my website, theparadigmshifts.com. All right. Thank you again for your presence and your listening. And I'll see you again another time. Bye for now.